Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Zendaya with Replay, and I am Eric Simmons with you here on today, March 27th of 2014. Between 1 to 3, we are off to a little bit of a late start, but that is A-OK. I actually have a cool surprise for you guys. I have a fun guest coming in. He should be coming in any moment, and we'll talk to him a little bit more. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. There's a lot of movie stuff going on. There's just, with April Fool's coming up, I want to talk a little bit about that and some of the pranks and things that people plan for. And I mean, there's a lot of people who look forward to this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that too. But to kick it off, I'm actually going to start here with some Paramore for you here on Radio SLCC with Born for This. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Katy Perry with some Unconditionally. And great news, as promised for all of you guys. I have someone in here who's very special, and I had to give him some good music. Introduction to Tyler Lamph.
Yeah.
Welcome to Radio SLCC.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
I found this song to be appropriate for you.
That's 100% appropriate.
As you are a big dinosaur fan, is that correct?
I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
And especially a huge fan of Jurassic Park, so that's the perfect song.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you in studio. I know that we've been kind of back and forth with this going on, but I just wanted to bring you in. The whole point of the show is I wanted to bring in a whole bunch of people who are doing excellent things with their lives, who are doing what their passions are, and, you know, wanting to expand out by either starting a new business or, such in your case, I mean, your passion is art.
Yep, that's correct.
So how long have you been into art? I mean, you've been doing it, I don't know, how long would you say?
I've probably been doing it since I could hold a pencil or a crayon. I don't think I really started until I was about 3 years old.
Okay.
That's when I saw Jurassic Park, hence the music.
And that's where it all started?
Yeah, and then once I saw Jurassic Park, I think it became more of a dream rather than just a kid drawing and scribbling drawings on pieces of paper.
Well, hey, that's awesome. And so do you remember so it was your first picture ever or your drawing ever? What do you remember? Could you recall what it is?
You know, I actually have no idea. My parents might be able to do that for you. Yeah, I just find random drawings. Funny story, when I was in elementary school, when I was in kindergarten, first grade, the teachers called my parents in because I wasn't getting any work done. My tests had no answers on them. I wouldn't even write my name on them. And they're like, we couldn't figure out what the problem was until we flipped the paper over, and on the back of the paper was covered in drawings. The whole paper was just drawings.
And that's where it all started, huh?
Probably about that time.
Well, good. You know, it's good to have you here. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. We're actually going to take a quick song break real fast here with some Jimmy Eat World with Let It Happen here for you on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was some Switchfoot with some We Come Alive from the new album that they just barely released. And it's a great song. You actually probably catch that a lot on the radio, and I tried to stay away from top 40 stuff. However, that is one of the top 40 songs that I actually really do like. So with Tyler Lamph in the house, I actually have a couple questions for him. So as far as you doing your artwork and everything like that, what is your favorite type of art? I mean, are you more like a pencil guy, or do you like painting at all?
You know, my favorite type of art is pen and ink. I love line work, and pen and ink is the best for that.
Okay. And I've seen some of your chalk work, too, and you're extraordinarily good with chalk as well.
Thanks, man. Chalk is just kind of for fun. I'll enter a chalk art competition every now and then.
Yeah.
But I hate being on the concrete in the sun forever. Last summer I did I blew up one of my doodles to about 5-6 feet tall, and I couldn't feel my fingers for 3 or 4 days afterwards. Messed up all the nerves in my hand.
Yikes. Now, you actually have a lot of interesting drawings, and some of them which have to do with either movie-related or some sort of theme. You actually throw out a lot of Facebook posts as far as people, you know, who wants to see what for Christmas or what's their favorite Christmas movie, and then you'll probably do a picture based off of that. But there's other ones that I think that are really interesting. Where do you get your inspiration from as far as there was one that you recently just actually reposted on your Facebook wall with I can't remember the name of it. I saw it not the other day, not too long ago actually. It was let me pull it up here. But I mean, I was just curious, as far as more than anything, where is it that you get your inspiration from?
You know, as dumb as it sounds, or as simple as it sounds, I get my inspiration from everything. I can't really pinpoint it on anything.
No?
It could be a sound. It could be a movie I see. It could be the way somebody talks. It could be the way somebody walks. It could be how obese somebody is, just the way that their skin folds over their pants, something like that. Anything can influence a drawing.
Okay. That's really cool. Well, let's talk about, you actually just released a comic book. How long has it been out now for?
The comic book's been out since the middle of January, I think.
Okay.
And it's been available in a comic book store since the beginning of February, I think, or the end of January.
Awesome.
Somewhere in there.
So the title of it is Seven. How did Seven begin, and how did you come up with that?
Seven was actually influenced by a couple different comic books and artists. One is The Max, which is awesome. Sam Keith, crazy artist. And then the other is The Creech, and that's by Greg Capullo, he is crazy. He's crazy. His drawings are so good. And basically there's a cover of Max issue 1, and I thought, I'd like to draw a cover like that. I'd like to draw a character in that stance. So I sat down and I just drew out a character, and I made him up myself. I just kept the stance the same. And once I drew that, I was pumped on him. It's like, this guy needs a story. So then I kind of messed around and wrote a story, and then I illustrated a 24-page book.
So in a short summary, without maybe giving away too much detail, if you don't want to give away too much detail, how could you summarize Seven?
What was the description I gave? It's basically about a bionic beast that follows a woman around a city, and he protects her. Okay. That's a basic summary.
Okay. Because this beast, do they have some sort of connection? Is this an imaginary type friend, or is it it's not imaginary because it's probably really happening, but...
You're going to have to get the book.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, where can I pick up one?
You can pick it up at Black Cat Comics. We actually had the address pulled up here for you. It is on 2261 Highland Drive in Salt Lake City, Utah, 84106. They're a fantastic comic book shop. You can pick up Seven there, and you can also pick up all the new releases from all your favorite titles.
That's awesome. And something else I was also interested in as well is, with a lot of your work, you actually sell a lot of your work. Now, when you do do you just do reprints, after you create an original one that you draw, how do you make more? Do you just print them out, or how does that? I guess I've just never understood that.
Yeah, so basically I'll finish not the comic book. I'll finish the piece that I've been working on.
Okay.
And I'll scan it at an extremely high resolution.
Okay.
So that way later I can blow it up or shrink it down, and it'll look fantastic no matter how big it is or how small it is. And then I'll make my prints, 8 by 10, 11 by 14, 16 by 20, and then I'll just print however many I want. Usually 16 by 20s are limited edition, so I'll only print so many of that size, and then I'll never print them in that size again.
That's cool.
So that's kind of how that works.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, great. I actually have some more questions for you. I actually just wanted to go down to a little Throwback Thursday segment with you, though.
Okay.
I told you to pick a song that we could air on the show, and I'll actually start first. And I'm actually wanting to throw it back. It's not really throwing it back too far, but I'm actually going to throw it back to Blink-182. I don't know, Tyler, have you ever heard of The Box?
The Box.
The Box, back in the day on television.
The Box, the old music channel?
Yes, Channel 58. Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
However, I found out that it is actually on satellite radio or satellite television, and apparently it came from MTV2 is kind of where The Box started, and I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, when I think of The Box, I think of Blink-182 with All the Small Things, because that song was always requested, and I just remember the music video. Do you remember what happens in the music video for that one?
I want to say they're running around their underwear.
Exactly.
Is that right?
That is correct.
It's a great music video.
So I just wanted to throw it back to Blink-182 for you guys here on Radio SLCC with All the Small Things. Radio SLCC, your online student source, and that was Blink-182 with All the Small Things. I'm really glad I threw back to that song. And we were just talking about The Box, and one of the songs that Tyler was, he said he didn't tune into it too much, but you were talking about Papa Roach being on there all the time.
Yeah, that's the song I remember from The Box is Suffocation by Papa Roach.
Well, yeah, that's yet another classic song from Papa Roach, but unfortunately I don't have the clean version of that.
Ah.
Yeah, right?
That's okay.
Well, you know what? So it's your turn for Throwback Thursday. I told you I was going to do something else, but let's go ahead and throw it to your Throwback Thursday.
Okay, so for Throwback Thursday, when Eric asked me about this, I had no idea. I had no idea what to pick. A bunch of different songs came to my mind. I didn't know how far back to throw back. Should we go 80s, 90s? I didn't know. So the first two that came to my mind were Slim Shady, The Real Slim Shady by Eminem.
Which is also a good choice.
Great choice. But I figured, it might be a little too explicit. So we went with Intergalactic by Beastie Boys.
Now, is there like a specific reason why you chose this song?
I love the song. Every time it comes on, I don't think I skip it on shuffle ever.
Really?
It bumps too hard.
There you go.
And there's actually, what was that movie? Did you ever see Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yes.
Did you ever see that show?
I did.
Did you see that scene where the chubby friend and his mom are at the mother-son dance in the cafeteria? And Beastie Boys comes on, and he just kills it. He does so good.
That's
Him
right.
and his mom just break it down, and so that song is just so awesome.
Well, there you go. That's funny. I don't even think I realized that. But now that you say that, I totally recall that it is.
Yeah, because I remember.
Movie.
Yeah, I remember I was watching that show, and I was like, this show's not too bad, not too bad. And then that song dropped, and that kid just broke it down in the cafeteria. It was so awesome.
All right, well, let's listen to some Intergalactic for you guys here on Radio SLCC with some Beastie Boys. Radio SLCC, your online student source with some Intergalactic and Beastie Boys, a Throwback Thursday song choice of Tyler Lamph today, which is also a good song. And when I initially asked him to do Throwback Thursday, I knew it definitely threw him off, and he'd asked me a couple of questions, and we were actually just talking off air about skating, and he's a big skater. How long have you been skating for?
I've probably been skating since the end of 6th grade or the beginning of 7th grade.
Okay. And you said you have a little bit of OCD when it comes to skating.
I do. So you text me, and I asked you what you were kind of looking for with the Throwback Thursday, and you brought up skateboarding. Did you skate to this song? And I actually didn't really skate to music ever because I'm OCD. So when I'm not landing tricks on the beat of the song, or when I'm not pushing to the beat of the song, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see that. We are going to take a commercial break shortly. However, I wanted to chat with you about a couple of things. One of the things that I actually thought was really cool about your profile, and I'm not talking about Facebook, I mean just you in general, is the fact that you had the chance to do Comic-Con. And it looks like you had two chances to do Comic-Con. You did one in Salt Lake and Arizona. Was there any other ones?
Just the Salt Lake in Arizona. I've done some art shows and things like that in between.
Okay.
And then I'll be at the upcoming Salt Lake Comic-Con fan experience.
Oh, cool.
And I'll be in Phoenix Comic-Con in June. And I'll be in Salt Lake Comic-Con in September.
So, I mean, so when you started doing like all this artwork and you're doing Comic-Con, as far as networking, is it hard to find a place as far as like getting your art out there or?
Yeah, it's all about pushing it.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to be that annoying person that sends 50 emails. And you can tell you're just bugging the crap out of them, but they remember you. And especially if you have the artwork to back it up,
yeah,
then they'll remember you and they'll send you more emails. People at Salt Lake Comic-Con are fantastic.
Yeah, well, and I saw a picture. You had a picture with some small wee lad who took a picture with you. Who thought your artwork was awesome. I don't know if you remember. It's just on your Facebook page. But
is that the one?
I think it was in Arizona.
Arizona. He has the Jurassic Park picture.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his name was Weston.
Yeah.
That kid was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad. So that Comic-Con was really slow.
Was it?
Yeah, and not a lot of people were selling. I asked all the artists around me how they were doing, and nobody was doing very hot. And so we're just standing there kind of hanging out. We're playing some cosplay bingo. So we write down different characters, and if you see them, you got to mark them off on your bingo card, and you just kind of kill the time. Okay. And this kid and his dad come walking by, and the kid freaks out over the Jurassic Park drawing.
Yeah.
Freaks out. And his dad's like, "You want this one?" And he goes, "Yeah." And the kid takes it and just starts walking away with it. And he's like, "No, you got to pay for it." And the kid was so pumped on it. And then they went home and they made some scans and stuff and colored the Jurassic Park drawing a couple times and framed the one that I signed for him and
That's
sent
cool.
me a bunch of pictures. Yeah, really cool. I love Jurassic Park, so when I see other kids that are stoked on Jurassic Park, it pumps me up.
Are you excited for the new one that they're coming out with?
I'm so excited for it. I'm actually working on a Jurassic World piece right now.
Now, I remember you were actually saving up to get a giant T-Rex.
Uh-huh.
Or was it a raptor?
It was a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Now, how did that come about? I mean, you just found it and you're like, I gotta have it?
So I found a website, and I'm not going to say it because the guy sucks. I hate him. And so I bought a model from him. It was a Tyrannosaurus Rex bust, which is the head of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And it was almost exact to the Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
And I ordered it from him, and it was about $500, $600, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Anyways, he never sent it.
What?
I paid for it. I wrote him all the time, wondering, like, how much longer? Like, when's it coming? When should I expect it by? I paid for it up front. And I waited over a year.
Really?
And then I finally filed a little complaint and got my money back.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. And then so this other guy, and I'll say his name because he's freaking awesome.
All right.
GeneModels.com. I think it's GEENE models.com.
Okay.
He makes dinosaur models, sci-fi models. He makes alien models from the Alien movies. He makes all sorts of stuff, and the detail is insane.
That's awesome.
So he ended up finding me on Facebook, and then through that I found his website and everything, and I ended up ordering a Tyrannosaurus Rex from him that is almost spot on with the Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex.
So how big is this thing? Like, how does it scale?
It's 5 feet long.
5 feet long? How tall is it?
Probably around 3 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it hasn't shown up yet. It was custom painted and everything, so I had him paint it exactly like the Rex from Jurassic Park, and so it should be here. I have the tail. The tail came. He had to ship them separately because it's so big.
Yeah.
But the tail arrived, and the tail looks fantastic.
That's awesome.
So I'm so pumped to see the rest.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to post some pictures for all of your viewers and everything. I'm sure you will.
Yeah. It's going up on the pages.
Well,
you'll see it.
I'm excited to see it. Sorry, I totally tangented out from Comic Con, but are you excited to go back to the Salt Lake Comic Con?
I am. It's probably one of the best shows I've ever done.
You realize it's like doing better than San Diego, right?
It is awesome. I'm pretty sure last I heard they already sold 20,000 tickets.
It's ridiculous.
And it's in a couple weeks. Last year they had to close the doors because the Salt Palace was at maximum capacity.
No.
So they couldn't let anybody else in because it was a fire hazard. So now they've rented out, I think it's the whole building.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. But they've rented out a ton more space, and they're expecting, what'd they say, 100,000?
It was. I mean, plus.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge, and it's gonna be awesome. Last year was fantastic. The people in Salt Lake City are so awesome.
Yeah.
I ended up selling out last year 3 times.
3 times?
I had to restock twice.
Wow.
And then I sold out on the end.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
Well, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. You know, we're actually going to take a quick break real fast. We'll be back in just a couple moments here, and we'll come back with a song, and then we'll chat some more here with some Tyler Lamph action. And it's been really good having you here. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you here on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was some Amber Lynn with the Feel Good Drag, which is a little bit of an older song, but not too old, just mid-2000s. Anyway, just off the air, we were talking about a couple of different things. Come to find out, Tyler is a big movie guy. Like, are you a movie guru, would you say?
Yeah, I love movies.
Like, is there like a specific genre that you like or that you like to stay away from?
I really like everything.
Yeah?
I like them all, man. Horror movies, comedies, chick flicks. I like them all.
Awesome.
Unless they're super artsy-fartsy.
Unless they're like...
I saw there's a movie called The Tree of Life.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
No, but I've heard about it.
With Brad Pitt?
Yes.
It's got Brad Pitt in it, and the preview looked awesome. We rented it, and it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, if you want to see a movie that has no reason behind it and makes absolutely no sense, you want to see A Tree of Life.
Awesome. I actually do like a lot of horror movies myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the blood and guts part that I look for, but something I actually watched a lot of, which I don't think my parents know about, but I actually watched a lot of the Saw.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Series. I don't know if you ever got like into that
I
type
love
of
Saw.
I love the story behind it.
The first three were my favorite. 4 was okay because it tied in with 3.
Yeah.
And then after that, they kind of tanked for a couple, and then the last one kind of picked up a little bit.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen like the last 2 or 3, but I heard that they kind of started to pick it up towards the end.
Yeah, so I think 5 or 6 was awful.
Okay.
I left the theater just ticked that I went to see it.
Really?
That they even made it, and then they picked it back up because you're a fan.
Right.
You got to see it to the end.
Of course.
But the first and second ones were crazy.
Well, let me ask you this then, because right now I'm just taking a look at this page.
Uh-huh.
Avengers. Who is your favorite Avenger?
Probably the Hulk.
The Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting choice. Why would you say the Hulk? I mean,
well, drawing wise, I like to draw people that just look crazy, and the Hulk is just jacked from head to toe.
yeah, he's very large.
And he's got a really small head. If you draw him, it's unproportional when you draw him, and it makes it more fun because this guy is a tank, but his head is normal size. His hands get big, his feet get big, his chest gets huge, his back gets huge,
Yeah.
and his head stays the same size.
Yeah, and he is yoked, like he is just super ripped.
Yeah, he's a tank.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, Thor's pretty cool, but he's a little far-fetched for me. Just the outer space, the god kind of lightning. And
Now let me ask you this, because you're engaged, and what does your fiance think of Thor? Does she think Thor is like amazingly hot? Good-looking?
I don't know if she thinks Thor is hot, but the actor that plays Thor, she thinks he's hot.
Okay.
Him and his brother.
Okay. My wife would agree, but also thinks Thor is also hot.
I'm sure she'd think that Thor is super hot, but I don't know if we've ever even. I know I've never seen him. Yeah. I don't know if she's seen Thor.
Gotcha. Well, the reason I brought it up, I was taking a look at this article here, and for all of you Captain America fans, which, to be completely honest, I would rather even choose Black Widow on my team over Captain America. I just don't think he's awesome.
It is Scarlett Johansson, too.
That's a good point. And I just don't think he's as exciting as everybody else. But his new movie coming out, The Winter Soldier, actually looks really quite good, which I'm definitely willing to give a chance. But as far as the Avengers and his first movie, I wasn't quite too excited about. However, come to find out, he's actually going to quit from acting. So sad news for all the ladies out there who think he's a heartthrob. I know my mom would be crushed.
Your mom would be?
Yeah. But more than anything, he decided to quit. He wants to become a producer. He is actually going to finish out his contract with Marvel, though, which was, how many movies was it we decided?
It says 9 Marvel movies.
9 Marvel movies. So don't expect Captain America to completely die off. Speaking of which, I've heard rumors that they've even thought about doing that to his character as far as killing him off at one point or another. But
it says that he finally committed to doing 6 films.
Oh, okay. So it's down to 6 then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, 6 more films from him, and then after that, he's going to start producing his own movies. And although he did give some credit to Marvel and doing these movies, because that's actually what kind of helped him get his foot in the door to start producing movies. So good for him.
That's just crazy to me that you'd play such an iconic character, and you'd get so big, and then just be, nah.
I'm done.
I'm done now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then rather just make a movie instead.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in a movie, or would you rather make a movie?
I'd rather be in a movie.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. So I was thinking about something while we were talking about superheroes, because I'm really stoked for the new Spider-Man movie. The first 3 were okay that they ever made, well, like with Tobey Maguire, but this new one that they've done, how they've kind of stuck to the more of the original story of it, I've loved.
Yeah, me too. Tobey Maguire, the series that he was in, the first one wasn't bad, and then they kind of got worse. And then once they brought in Venom, they killed him. Venom is such an iconic and a sick character visually.
But he's very sissy-like in the third one.
Yeah, they made him really small, and you really didn't even get to see him.
Right.
The new Spider-Mans, they're awesome.
Yeah. That's actually one team member I'm really sad that they don't have a part of the Avengers. But I think they're trying to work out a deal with Sony to get him back on the Avengers. Let me ask you this. You probably get this a lot being an artist, but do you ever have anybody just ask you, hey, you should draw this?
Yep, I have that all the time.
Is it, because I know you're definitely looking for new ideas. Does it ever get, tiresome, or do you ever think, oh, that's a good idea?
Sometimes it is a good idea, and sometimes it is the worst idea. Or sometimes I'm just not interested.
Okay.
So somebody would be like, oh, draw this anime character. And I'm just not interested in that character.
Right.
And so I don't draw it.
I'm just gonna throw in some background music for us.
Some old school Tony Hawk.
It sounded a little. Is that what this is from?
From Tony Hawk. Pro
No,
Skater,
it's not.
The first one. It is.
No, from 64, and it was on a lot of different.
It was I played it on
PlayStation.
No, 64.
64 is the first time I played
64.
this game.
Yep, you're right.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I knew this song was familiar. That's why I have it up here. It's because I use it all the time.
Yeah, I'd play this. I think it was School 2 was the level. I'm pretty sure it was School 2. Yeah, it's finding the secret tapes and everything.
That's super funny. But yeah, I mean, as I was thinking about that question, that I was wondering if people were asking you a lot of is Spider-Man, for example. Have you ever thought about doing Spider-Man?
Yeah, I actually have done a Spider-Man drawing.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just missed it.
It's him and Venom, actually.
Oh, yeah, Venom's got him.
Yep, Venom has his tongue around Spider-Man's neck.
That's
He's
right.
choking him out while he's hanging from a light pole.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done that one. I would like to do just a Spider-Man picture where Spider-Man's not getting taken out.
Yeah.
And also, have you ever heard of Spider-Man 2099?
Yes.
He is sick.
Is it the black one?
Nope, he's from the future, year 2099.
Okay.
And his suit's blue and red, like the normal Spider-Man.
Okay.
But he just looks mean, rather than this Spider-Man, the main Spider-Man, looks like Spider-Man.
Right.
But the Spider-Man 2099, he looks darker and meaner.
Really?
He's really cool.
Interesting. Maybe I was thinking of Symbiote Spider-Man was who I was thinking of.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. The dark suit.
But the 2099 I've never heard of.
Yeah. Let's pull up a picture on the computer.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tell me what you think.
All right, let's see. Sorry, Black Cat. We're gonna move you here for a second. So Spider-Man 2009.
2099.
99. 2099. 2009.
Yep. And then go ahead and hit
images here.
He's so mean looking.
Yeah, he is tough looking. Have you done him?
You know, I've actually done a sketch of him.
Okay.
But I haven't done a finished piece of him.
Interesting. Yeah, that is actually another movie I'm really looking forward to. Is the second one, and that comes out in May, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask you this: as far as movies go, movie releasing this week is Noah. Thoughts?
I really wanted to see it, and then in some previews, it looks a little far-fetched. It looks a little more fantasy rather than this epic tale that everybody's heard their whole life.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is actually reading an article about it too, because I was expecting, because looking at some of the previews, I remember turning to my brother and being like, dude, was that part like in the movie, like in the book, like in the Bible? Like I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
And after reading this article, they said that it's not completely straightforward to the Bible, obviously.
Right.
But you can't make it completely. But I guess the director's like, oh no, yeah, I took the story of it, but I'm not going by the full story of the Bible by any means. So.
Yeah, but Russell Crowe is awesome.
Yeah, he played in some amazing movies. And that is one movie I'm actually really excited for to come out. Other than that, I don't have any other movies coming out this weekend rather than just a whole bunch of no-name movies that won't hit any theaters in Salt Lake anytime.
When did that Sabotage movie come out? It's up at the top.
Let's see.
Right there. Does it come out this weekend?
That comes out this weekend as well.
So that one looks intense. Have you seen previews
I have not
for that?
seen. I was thinking it was like an independent film because some of these on this list are independent.
No, that one's Schwarzenegger, and I'm not really positive. The DEA, they have like an elite force.
Okay.
And they do a drug bust or something, and then something goes wrong, and then somebody on his team is in on it, and they got to figure out who is the
mole.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
I'm gonna have to look that one up too. I haven't heard anything about it. And I love Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I love a good Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What was the one he just recently came out with? It was he was like a sheriff almost.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right?
I never saw it though. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. But that's another one that I don't even I didn't even know that one was with him in it.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger is probably one of the most accomplished people I've ever seen in my life. That guy has done everything.
There's another ripped character for you. You could do an Arnold picture.
Oh yeah, I'd draw Terminator for sure. Terminator is actually a really good idea for a picture.
Yeah, there you go. All right, you know what? We are gonna go ahead and take a quick music break real fast. April Fool's is coming around the corner. Are you prepared?
I'm always prepared.
Are you? Are you usually the receiver or are you the giver?
Actually, probably the receiver.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never even think about it until it's too late, and then something happens to me.
I never think about it until the day of, and then that's when it all breaks loose. So,
Yep.
But don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about some of that for you here. But enjoy some Linkin Park with Powerless from their new album of Living Things here for you on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Linkin Park with some Powerless from, I guess not their brand new album. Yeah, it is from their brand new album. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the last song on their brand new album that they just released. Really good song. Linkin Park being one of my favorite, I forgot the word, artists.
Yeah, they're
bands. Anyway, what we were talking about before, going into Linkin Park there, we were talking about April Fools and if you were ready for it. And I actually threw it out there. If there's anybody out there, who has any funny stories or anything like that happened to you. What about you, Tyler? Let's start with you. I mean, do you have any funny stories or anything like that happened? I mean, did you give out to somebody or did someone give it to you or?
I don't usually do a ton of April Fool's pranks or anything like that.
Yeah.
Probably because I learned my lesson when I was younger. I was in elementary school, probably around 5th or 6th grade, I'd assume. And we were at recess, and it was April Fool's, and I had to get somebody, right?
Right.
And me and my buddy were trying to think of what we can do as a great prank. So I thought, I'm going to ask this chick out. I'm going to ask her to be my girlfriend, and then when she says yes, I'm going to tell her no and shove it right in her face. So I walked up to her. She was on the swing. And I was like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? And she goes, no. And it just backfired in my face. It just ruined my confidence.
That's funny. You know what? One of the funniest pranks that ever happened to me, it wasn't even on April Fool's, but it was clever. I'm a Utah fan. Not like a diehard Utah fan, but enough to say that I'm from the family of one. My wife, however, comes from a very heavy BYU family. And I actually, the day of the Utah-BYU game, or the day right before, I started getting blown up with phone calls. Rise and shout, the Cougars are out. I got text messages, people telling me that, dude, do you still have the ticket? Do you still have the ticket? Dude, my brother's about to go on a mission. I would love to take him to this last game. And I was like, what is going on? So finally, the person who called me next, I was like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't know what's going on. And he's like, oh yeah, there's a listing on KSL saying that the first person to give me a call singing the Rise and Shout song from BYU, I'll give you my ticket.
Oh.
And to this day, I still have no idea who did it.
That's a good prank.
It is good, and because it's free to do, and they can't. I mean, KSL says, oh, we'll get down to the bottom of it, but they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they just get rid of it.
And just get calls all day.
I mean, I literally blew up. Like I had tons of voicemails of people singing to me. And it was super comical, actually, and very clever. I was kind of ticked at the moment, but thinking about it now, it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. If any of you guys have any funny prank stories or anything like that, go ahead and throw them out there, either on my wall, on Facebook, or you can go ahead and throw them out on Tyler's. Either way, we should be able to see them. I threw it out there a little bit earlier, and there's actually a couple of responses from people, actually just from 2 people. However, one person had a whole bunch of ideas that they've done, and I just was a little astounded by some of them. I never heard of this one, but putting goldfish in the toilet bowl.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
either.
me neither. But apparently it's quite popular to do. Write honk and just married on people's cars. I would think of other things to say rather than just say just married.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Another one on here is printing off a lot of pictures and putting them all over the apartment and switching them out with other pictures. Let's see, another one on here is putting toothpaste between Oreos. That would be no bueno.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already like Oreos altogether. One of my biggest pet peeves actually is my wife will take out the cream out of the Oreo and put the cookies
She'll
back
put the
in.
cookies
She
back?
puts them back.
Dude.
It's been quite controversial of our relationship.
That's
actually.
asking for a beating.
Yeah. I'm actually in therapy for it.
Oh, okay, good.
Another one on here was saran wrap on the toilet seat. It looks like Annie here had put, saying that her dad had put saran wrap on the toilet seats, but they had realized it, and so they put it back on his, and kind of like you, was shoved back in their face.
That would be bad too. Oh, that would be so bad.
You know, it's funny is the reason I thought of that story, the BYU Utah one, is actually of another kid on here who'd posted. His name is Beej, and he had put on here. It just reminded me. He'd said, where did it go? Oh, okay. Yeah, so they had printed off hundreds of flyers for a free kitten and all they had to do was just to call in and just meow. They were just supposed to meow and meow, and what they would do is then they go ahead and give it away. And they posted it online, put it in pet stores, school, and even on windshields. And apparently it was quite the... Apparently that's the thing to do.
Yeah, that one sounds like a good time, too.
Yeah. Another one on here. I don't know if I can read that whole thing. It's kind of small for me. Can you read that? I can't.
Yeah.
I have a really crappy sight.
The one about the squirrel?
Yeah.
To summarize it, basically, it was Beach Smith. He found a deceased squirrel, and they took it to the pool, and they put it under... Oh, there goes my mic. They put it under a towel that belonged to a girl, and then, I don't know, what was the last bit of that?
No, you're okay. I think okay, my eyes are... There we go. So long story short, they snuck the dead squirrel into the pool area and hid it beneath the girl's towel. And then they hurried out of there, and as they were driving away, they yelled at one of the girl who had the towel there and asked if they left their phone underneath her towel. She pulled it up, and the squirrel unfurled, similar to like a scroll. The girl freaks out. I scream April Fools, and we sped off into the sunset. So thanks for your responses. That's actually pretty gross.
That is gross.
I don't know.
Man, bury the squirrel, man. Show some respect.
That's right. But if you have any other stories, go ahead and hit them on our wall. We'd be happy to read them off for you guys. But now that I've realized that it's April Fool's coming up, I've got to start getting prepared. Although my wife is worse than I am.
Does she prank you a lot?
A lot. It's not even April Fool's, and she pranks me all the time. So one thing, make sure that you're Ashley. My wife's name is Ashley because your fiance's name is Ashley, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, watch out for Ashleys. They're bad news when it comes to pranking.
They're gonna get us. I'll scare her.
Anyway, let's go ahead and take another music break real quick. We're gonna listen to some Muse with the Map of Problematic here for you on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was Muse with Map of Problematic, and we decided to make that a
hyperspeed version.
Hyperspeed club version. I hit something and it ended up going faster, but there you go. We were just talking, Tyler was just thinking of another good story for us off the air.
So, another prank you can do on April Fool's Day. This one wasn't done to me on April Fool's, and as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't done on purpose. My whole family was going to go on a family reunion, and we were about to leave the house. Everything was packed in the car. We were about to hop in the car, and I was like, oh, man, I'm thirsty. I need to get a drink. So I ran in the kitchen, reached in the cupboard, and I grabbed the first cup I could see, and I pulled it out. It was full of grape juice. It spilled all over me. And you don't expect that. You don't expect a cup in the cupboard to be full of juice. So if you want to do that to somebody, make sure the cup is not see-through. Fill it with some grape juice, put it back in the cupboard, and whoever grabs it is going to spill it on themselves.
It's
for sure.
It's got to be like in a tall drawer, too.
Yeah, you got to reach up, grab it, pour it all over yourself.
That's funny. That was done intentionally.
Yeah, knowing my family, somebody absentmindedly, in a hurry, was like, I'm thirsty, and they grabbed a cup, and they grabbed some juice, and they poured it, and they were in such a hurry that they're like, what am I doing? And they just, put it back and, went to go pack the car or something, and then so I come along, and it...
Got the wrath of it.
Yeah, it gets all over me.
Okay, well, that's awesome. We're going to take just a quick 30-second break. We'll come back with some more music for you here on Radio SLCC, but you were talking about the story of you're gonna have to explain it to me because I've never heard this story.
Okay, so it's crazy. If nobody's heard of this story, it's crazy. You have to look it up. There was a family that was held hostage by their 22-pound cat.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll take our quick break. We'll listen to a couple songs and we'll come back and we'll fill you on the rest of the story here for you guys here on Radio SLCC. Radio SLCC, your online student source. That was some Foo Fighters for you with Monkey Wrench, kicking that one back a little bit too. So we were talking a little bit earlier about this cat story that Tyler was telling us about. So let's continue on with the story because we tried pulling up the audio for it or the video for it so you guys could listen to not only the dispatch call but also a little bit about the story. And we're having technical difficulties. It's not happening. Sorry. But let's get the rundown real fast. So how did you hear about this story, first off?
Basically, I was listening to X96 Radio from Hell on the way to work.
Okay.
And they were playing, I think that's what I was listening to. Anyways, whatever station I was listening to was playing the 911 call. Oh, it was 97.1, I think, was playing it.
Okay.
Anyways, they were playing the 911 call from this violent 22-pound house cat.
Yeah. So some of the verbiage that was said was, "We're trapped. He won't let us out of our door," Leo Palmer told the dispatchers after he and his family members and pet dog fled to the safety of a bedroom and called 911. "The cat has gone over the edge. He's trying to attack us. He's very hostile, and he's at our door. He's charging us." Palmer also told the dispatchers that the cat has a history of violence.
So how much of a pansy, right? There's pictures of the cat online, and it's not a big cat. I mean, 22 pounds, sure. I can curl 22 pounds, okay? You can kick the cat in the face, and you'll be fine. They call 911.
Oh, you know what? Thanks to Jason Wood, and he actually found us the link to it. So if any of you guys are listening, you can either go to mine or Tyler Lamph's wall underneath the April Fool's prank stories, and you can actually find it there.
Mm-hmm.
But 22-pound house cat, I mean, what would you do in that situation, honestly, if it were you?
I would kick it in the face. That cat is not going to hold me hostage, and my wife, and my baby, and my dog.
And your dog.
Maybe my dog. I have a blind dog, so he'd probably just...
He wouldn't even know.
He wouldn't know what was happening. But I would just kick it in the face.
Yeah. You know, what's so funny is there's always some weird news going on. And, you know what's funny? I was actually looking at this piece of news here. And there's this page from NBC News talking about some weird news. And, for example... Where'd it go? Okay, yeah. So, autocorrect. Do you have any problems with autocorrect on your phone by chance?
Yeah,
or just
autocorrect drives me crazy.
My wife would disagree with me. I don't think I have autocorrect problems, but I do, apparently. But there was actually somebody, due to autocorrect, mistakenly sent $30,000 in donations to a polar bear.
What? How?
Yeah, so it was just a campaign to raise money for cancer research, and says that it was a $30,000 mistake. Numerous donors meant to type BEAT, as in beat cancer, for the no makeup selfie grassroots campaign, but autocorrect changed it to bear. The next thing they knew, their money went out helped to adopt a baby polar bear. Others mistakenly typed donate, and that money went to the Children's Aid, World Wildlife Fund, and UNICEF officials say that they're currently working to redistribute the 30,000 donations as originally intended. But isn't a polar bear just as cute? Would you rather do? I mean, how do you do that?
That is crazy.
For a polar bear.
That's crazy.
I'm speechless.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. That's smart campaigning.
Do you want to know something else that's funny about this page too? Is it also talks about this other one, the most feel-good city in America. Guess where it is?
I see it right there.
Yeah, Provo, Utah.
Provo, Utah.
Which, I don't know if you've ever lived in Provo. I've never lived in Provo.
Well, I don't even want to drive to Provo.
I don't know why it's the most feel-good city. I would agree with you strongly there, as far as not wanting to ever, not be in Provo, but I just wouldn't ever want to live there.
Yeah, those stats are skewed a little bit.
Something else on here that I found interesting. I'm sorry, we're just kind of closing up here because we got about 8 minutes left, but we'll have a song cut us off before then. Some fun news. When I say Miley Cyrus, what's the first word that comes to mind?
There are a lot of words.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Dude, her tongue's always out.
Yeah, right?
Bad haircut. Gross butt.
So, come to find out, there is a New York college that is offering Miley Cyrus classes. It is actually a twerk-free class, so if you're looking to get some twerking done in that class, it's not happening for you. It's a college in upstate New York that is offering a summer course on Miley Cyrus and won't even make students do any twerking at all. It's visiting assistant Professor Carolyn Chernoff calls the course the Sociology of Miley Cyrus, Race, Class, Gender, and Media. She also says that it'll focus on the 21-year-old performer in all of her incarnations as a way to study such topics as gender, race, class, fame, and power. She says she got the idea after teaching a course on youth culture that featured video of Miley Cyrus twerking at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards.
That's crazy. That's why. Why would we make? But also,
America.
How? I guess good for Miley. She's
famous
enough.
She's getting it though.
Yeah, she's famous enough that she's now having classes.
Yeah. I mean, she did exactly. I mean, people are like, oh, shame on her and everything, but she's getting exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, she's getting more publicity and more sales just from this alone.
Yeah.
And it's
you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess.
I couldn't believe it. I just started busting out laughing because I couldn't believe that really was going on. Something else real quick. There's a loyal customer who gets a McDonald's receipt tattooed on their arm.
Yeah, and these are all making me speechless right now. I'm looking at the picture right now. It's like their whole forearm, and it's their receipt from McDonald's.
To be honest, this isn't an American. This is a European. However, man, sometimes I just wonder what society's up to.
Well, Americans don't need to get it tattooed on their body because we can see it on their body that they're loyal customers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, according to some friends here, I guess there's just this teen who was very troublesome, and the friends wanted to kind of clear him out. According to them, he was a scallywag, or he was too active with the ladies. And so it's entirely unclear what it means by what they were talking about him. But what they said, but the friends gave him the option of getting a Barbie tattooed on his butt or his fast food purchase on his arm. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a Barbie fan either, but I might go for
I'd
Barbie.
probably get Barbie on my butt.
How often? I mean, you're going to be stared at in every line you stand at for the rest of your life. Is that a McDonald's receipt on that guy's arm?
Yeah, and then the Barbie tattoo on the butt, that'd be an icebreaker. That'd be a great...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, these are some of the things I found today. But I'm glad we talked a lot about movies. We talked about April Fools. I'll be giving a copy of this to Tyler. We're actually also doing an experiment. We're going to start a YouTube channel here pretty soon, and we'll get some video, kind of show you guys what we're up to. There's a camera back there. I'll wave at it. Yep, hi. And, yeah, we'll post that out so you guys can check that out as well. But other than that, is there anything else you wanted to do? I mean, thank you so much for coming out here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, this was awesome. I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. Everybody should go to Salt Lake Comic Con and all the other events like that, and be sure to check out my art pages. My name is spelled Tyler, Lamph. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, DeviantArt, and I also have my own website. Feel free to check me out.
Awesome. So go ahead and check him out on Facebook. I'll also have those links underneath my Facebook. Another thing we're also going to do is I can actually get those sites up on the Radio Slick page as well. So you can go ahead and check those out. And you can actually even get some purchases from him as well with some of his own art that he does for you by hand. Do you still take requests by chance? Like if somebody pays you for it, do you still take requests?
Yep, I do commissions. It just depends how busy I am at the time. Like right now I'm setting up for Salt Lake Comic Con fan experience.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty slammed right now getting prints and banners and everything ready for the show. But I usually do commissions depending on what they want.
Gotcha. Well, I thought in your honor, since you are here, probably going to play this song anytime soon. I mean, I'd like to. It's actually a pretty good intro to a lot of things.
It's my ringtone.
Is it your ringtone?
Yeah. And it's also the tattoo on my foot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think I knew that. Kind of creepy. I didn't mean to come off like a...
No, it's cool, man. It's cool.
We were doing so good. We got to the very end and we got creepy.
It's okay, man.
We got shady. I'm sorry. But anyway, hey, it's been a pleasure being with you guys today. Again, go ahead and check out those links that we were talking about. We have next hour another student, so don't forget to check that out as well. Signing out, Eric and Tyler here for you on Radio SLCC.